Well, I'm from Tennessee. I was born in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And then we moved, and my dad moved over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a job working at the them Ball brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked for Louise Ball, John Ball, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for a lot of people here in Middlesboro.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's your name?
Ruth
Ruth.
Kyle,
And what's your maiden name?
that's my name.
Ruth Kyle.
Yeah.
Where are you from in Tennessee?
Cumberland Gap.
Cumberland Gap.
Mm-hmm.
What were your parents' names?
My dad was named Robert, and my mom was named Edna.
What was her maiden name?
Ewan, was it? Wasn't it Ewan?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Ewan.
Oh, okay. Now, what school did you go to coming up?
I went over in the valley. They had 8th grade over there. Then I come over here and went to high school. I graduated from the Lincoln High School.
Lincoln High School. Do you know the name of the school in the valley? Over in that?
Town Creek, I believe, is what they call it.
Town Creek.
Yeah.
Is where you went to school.
Yeah.
Do you know where your parents are buried at?
Well, I used to know, but I don't think they keep it clean anymore.
Mm.
They had, people to come in and clean the graves and things.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Were they buried here or were they buried out in the county?
Oh, that was a bird,
Granddaddy was in Lynch Cemetery.
Huh?
Lynch.
Lynch, Kentucky?
Lynch Cemetery.
Lynch.
And then Grammy's in Green Hill.
Well, I went to school every day, then I had a job on the weekend
Mm-hmm.
to help pay for I had to give a ticket to ride the bus back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I took what I made on working and bought my ticket.
To come to Lincoln
Yeah.
from Cumberland Gap.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They had a bus.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you got to school every day.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of work did you do? What was your job at that time?
I just did housework for different people.
Do you remember any of their names?
Well, one was,
Oscar Robinson.
I used to work for Oscar Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in Tennessee. But they lived in Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to,
He worked for Norma Stapleton.
I worked for Norma a long time. And then I got a job at Campbell Soup.
Not when he moved. He wants you right here in Bell County.
Oh.
She went to Ohio.
Oh, did you go to Ohio?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
It was 50, wasn't it? 49 to
86.
50.
In 86.
Where'd you move to in Ohio?
With my daughter.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What town?
Napoleon.
Napoleon, I think the name of it was.
Uh-huh. Where is that at? I don't know.
It's up from Toledo, about an hour from Toledo.
So north of Toledo?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So tell me, do you remember much about your school days? Did y'all have to do so you went to school in the Valley first before you went to Lincoln, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you remember much about that? Did y'all have to do chores like fetch water or anything like that at school?
Yeah, we had to go out and look for different stuff, leaves and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and bring them back in and press them in a book.
Uh-huh.
Then you put the name, whatever they were, in the book.
You had to identify the
Yeah.
different leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's like science class, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember any kind of homecomings or celebrations or anything like that? Did y'all do 8th of August? Do you remember that? Doing the 8th of August
I don't think so.
homecoming or anything?
No.
No. Did y'all have church over in the valley? Over in
Yeah, we had a one-room church house, and we went to school on the weekday, and then on Sunday we went to church.
the same building?
Yeah.
What was the name of the church?
It was some kind of tabernacle, wasn't it?
I can't answer that one.
But it was Tabernacle something.
Yeah, it was tabernacle.
And that was in Cumberland Gap
In Tennessee, yeah.
on the Tennessee side?
Yeah.
It was down in Powell Valley.
In Powell Valley?
She was born in Powell Valley, yeah.
Oh, okay. On the Tennessee side. So was that Hancock County or Claiborne County?
Claiborne County.
Claiborne County.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go over to Hoop Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went up there on special days when they had a big meeting or a big dinner or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody had to take food.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They'd have a big picnic on the river or out in front of the church or
Sometimes they did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So y'all you moved around out there and visited different families and different churches and stuff for
Yeah, that's what we did.
yeah, yeah. Did anybody in your what did your parents do for a living? Did your dad farm or
He was a farmer.
yeah? What did he grow?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, we made our own molasses and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did you have to help with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stirring it? You had to help stir it?
It goes through 6 stages for you to where you need it to be, and then you put it out on in a lard can.
Uh-huh.
We had a smokehouse we kept it in.
Uh-huh. Huh. Would you use a mule to turn the
Yeah.
molasses to get it?
The wheel around, you go around and around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then I guess he'd sell it, wouldn't he? Would he sell it? Or
Well,
never sell it?
sometimes he might.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But they'd have a lot of people come over at night to watch it stir off, they called it.
Oh, so it was a big social event.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Would people play music?
Nobody played music.
Yeah. They just hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'd sing, church songs,
Uh-huh.
but other than that, we didn't have no music.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he grow any tobacco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated them worms.
Yeah.
I had to pick them up and sling them on the ground. That wasn't my choice.
Where do you know where he'd take his tobacco to? Would he bring it over here to Kentucky, or would he take it to Tazewell? Or
Tazewell.
yeah,
We sold it in Tazewell.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess a warehouse, tobacco warehouse over there.
Yeah, I think so. That's how we had our Christmas every year,
Mm-hmm.
selling tobacco.
Mm-hmm. That was guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, tell me what you remember about Lincoln, because you would ride the bus. How long was that bus ride?
I caught it about maybe 6:30 or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and rode it from over Tennessee over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then rode it back to Tennessee.
Yeah.
I had a bus ticket. I had to give them a ticket out of that thing,
Uh-huh.
and to ride the bus.
Yeah. And when would you get back in the afternoon?
Yeah, we get back when the regular time the bus run.
Yeah, yeah.
About 6 or 6:30 or something like that.
That's a long day, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but I had other people, 10 people live over there, so I just go visit them till I had to catch the bus.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And where would you catch the bus at?
Out on the road.
Yeah.
You have to flag it down with your hand,
On the
but
highway.
yeah.
And what do you remember about Lincoln? Are there any teachers that stick out in your mind at Lincoln? Any teachers that you really remember?
Well, I remember the principal. I remember the teacher named Miss Baldwin. She was nice. Well, they were good. I mean, they were nice people,
Yeah.
all of them.
Mm.
Well, I had a cousin lived over here named Ruby Helen
Uh-huh.
Gibson, and I'd stay with her a lot,
Yeah. So you wouldn't have to go
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you stay with her during the week?
No, just on the weekend
Just
sometimes.
on the weekend sometimes.
Mhm.
And did she live in town?
No, she did around the Y, they used to call it.
The Y.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. So whenever you'd stay, would you have to help out with chores there too?
No, I'd help her,
Uh-huh.
but that's all we did.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What kind of chores?
Well, sometimes we had to milk the cow.
Uh-huh.
That's fun though. They'll kick you or knock the bucket out of your hand.
After you got out of school, after you got done with school, what did you do?
Yeah, I know these people that lived in Louisville, and I wouldn't stay with them for a while.
What'd you think about Louisville when you got up there?
Well, we live beside of one of the beer things,
Mm-hmm.
and that scent to make you drunk.
Yeah, the smell of it.
Yeah. But it was okay.
Yeah. What kind of work did you do in Louisville?
I worked at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the name of it?
It was some kind of blue something cafeteria.
Mm.
Yeah.
And were there other people you're kin to up there? Besides, who'd you stay with up there?
I stayed with these people I had met before, and they let me stay there till I got me a place of my own. Mm-hmm.
But you come back here.
Yeah, I come back here.
Uh-huh. What brought you back home?
Well, I had a son,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom was watching him, so I had to come back and help her take care of him.
What was his name?
Kenneth
Mm-hmm. Kenneth Kyle?
Thomas. He took his dad's name.
Kenneth Thomas.
Hmm.
Now, where was his daddy from?
Up in Hoop Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas from Hoop Creek.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
So how many children did you have?
I been to have 8.
Mm-hmm.
I had 8.
Mm-hmm. How many boys and how many girls?
3 boys,
I had 3 boys. I had Jeff, Boo, and
5 girls.
5 girls.
Kenneth, Patricia, Sharon,
Carolyn,
Terry, Carolyn, Jeff, Sean, and Alice.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
it.
Mm. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you came back. Did you stay in Middlesboro when you come back?
Yeah. I had a job working at Campbell Soup.
Mm-hmm. And what was that work like? What did you do for them?
Well, I had to keep the jars, the handle turned around when it come down the line,
Mm-hmm.
so they could just pick it up and set it over.
Uh-huh.
That's how I done at Campbell Soup.
So they wouldn't have to turn it or anything?
No, just pick it up as it come by you and set it on set the handle around right so they could pick it up,
Mhm. Yeah. And how long did you work there?
I don't know, how long was it? I don't know.
Quite a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I did.
And then you settled into Middlesboro. What did you go to? Do you have a home church?
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle?
I used to Bible belonged to Mount Moriah, but all my family belonged to Tabernacle.
Mm-hmm. And is that the church you went to as a young person? No, you went to the one-room church school first, and then later on in life, now you went to Tabernacle, and that's where your family went to?
Mm-hmm. My mom belonged there, so that's where we belonged, Tabernacle.
Mm-hmm. Do any of the because you've been there for a while, any preachers that you remember that were really important at Tabernacle?
Reverend Morton, I used to stay with them,
Yeah.
and he would take me back and forth.
Yeah. From your house to Tabernacle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of celebrations, but I don't know what they were
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah. Were there any holidays that you look forward to when you was growing up, or even as a grown woman? Any holidays?
Just Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the only time we got a gift was Christmas.
Yeah. Is there a gift that you remember that you got when you was coming up?
I had a doll I kept for a long time, and I don't know what happened to my doll. She had her eyes blinked and everything. It went somewhere when we moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had my doll, but it got gone somewhere.
What kind of work did your mom do?
She did housework. She wasn't able to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She had that that crippling, what you call it, Ruth. Well, her leg was stiff and she had to swing. She couldn't. She just had to put weight on one leg, then kind of drag the other one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Some kind of arthritis they said she had.
Uh-huh. So she just worked at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
11? Was that 11 of y'all? 12?
I had 11 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, she had 10 or 11. 10 or 11.
Somewhere in
There's
there.
only
I guess.
2 of them left.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
You had a house full.
A house full, yeah.
So your mom working at the house had enough to do anyway with 11 or 12 kids.
Yeah, me and her worked at the house for the Robinsons.
Mhm.
Oscar. You know Oscar?
Mm-mm.
We used to work for them.
Mhm.
And of course she couldn't walk good. She had to scoot on the floor.
Uh-huh.
But after they showed me how to do it, I was doing it and she didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a nice time. It was a
Mm-hmm.
big family, but everybody helped.
Mm-hmm. And I guess if he was farming, there was always food to eat, plenty of food.
Yeah, we had plenty of food.
Mm-hmm.
Always swapping this or swapping that. And you'd have different kind of food to eat.
Do you remember any of your neighbors when you was coming up, and any of the families that lived around y'all?
But nobody live around us. We lived on one hill, another family lived way on the other hill, and you got to haul out back and forth to talk to them.
That was the telephone, huh?
Yeah. That is, we hauled it back and forth. When the wind was going that way, you could hear them plain as day.
No.
That's the way we talk.
Mm.
Wow.
Who was the family on the next hill?
Hurst.
Hurst.
Yeah, Tip and Cora Hurst.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did they have kids too?
Yeah, they all had kids.
Mm.
I don't know how many they had.
Mm.
I think they had a set of twins. And I don't know how many more.
Yeah. Would y'all get together with the other kids, even if it was? Would y'all get together and play?
Yeah.
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 What kind of, did y'all have any games, or you just make up games?
We just make them up as we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any memory about your mom or dad that really sticks in your mind?
I know my dad worked for Dr. Flowers for a long time. And then, I don't know, he had bleeding ulcers, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he died.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what happened to my mom. But, yeah. Dr. Flowers, you know him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No.
They was good to him. I mean, good to him and everything, but they just had a lot of work they had to have done.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wasn't able to do that.
So what? So do you mind me asking how old you are now?
Me?
Uh-huh.
I'm what, 80, 90?
3.
93.
93.
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen a lot.
Yep.
And you've seen a lot come and go too.
Yeah.
Um,
We used to have to walk. We missed the school bus. We had to walk quite a ways to get to school. Sometimes we get a ride, and most time we didn't. But we had to get there.
that was important
Yeah.
to get to school.
Get to school, yep.
Good time when things got
No,
bad.
back then people just mind their own business. Yeah,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah. Wasn't no period in time when things got bad or.
No. We all got along all right in that house. It wasn't that big a house, so.
So you
It was
stayed with the Robinsons?
No, I worked for them.
You worked for them.
Yeah.
Worked for them. Okay. What's some of the things that really stick in your mind about how things have changed over the years?
Well, for going to school, for one thing, I had to catch a bus to come back and forth to school over here. And then I had to have a ticket. Somebody stole my ticket one day. That didn't go too good. And I was always arguing with somebody.
Tell them about some of them bars and people getting killed on.
Huh?
Tell them about some of them bars and people getting killed at the Savoy and
Oh, yeah.
all them things.
This used to be a rowdy place, huh?
Yeah. Joe McKinney had that bar out there.
Uh-huh.
About where the ice plant is.
Silver Slippers.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Slippers. I've heard.
You've heard of that?
I've heard people talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
He was a mean old man.
Savoy.
Now his brother was my English teacher
Okay.
in school, Mr. McKinney. Mm-hmm.
Then I think Baker's Funeral Home would get all the ones that got shot or
Yeah.
remember Baker's Funeral Home. This is the stories I remember. There was
So it was pretty rowdy around here back in the
It was then, yeah.
in the day.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did musicians come through here and play at all? Do you remember that at all? Would they come through here and play at some of the juke joints and stuff?
They used to come to the church to play. Yeah.
Traveling musicians.
Yeah.
Where were the bars and stuff at? Were that on 19th Street? Or was
Yeah, it was lined with bars everywhere.
And what do you think made it so rowdy? Was it the coal miners would get paid and come to town, or why do you think it was so rowdy?
Well, a lot of them worked at the tannery. He was going then. And then they'd come down there at them bars and get drunk, I guess.
Spend their paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spend all they make on it, and then they'd call the police to come and get them or whatever. But police back then wasn't that good, I don't think.
Did you have any experience with any of the coal mining or the coal camps or anything? I heard people talk about some of the coal camps that used to be around here. Did you ever have any experience going up in the coal camps or any of your family
No
going?
insurance, suppose I went and worked in the mines, but we never got there.
I don't know that one.
You were supposed to go?
Yeah, my daughter and me.
Uh-huh.
Roy Stapleton was going to take us,
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for them,
Uh-huh.
and he was going to take us and put us in the mines to work.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know what happened to that.
Never happened.
No.
Mm.
It's too dangerous, they said.
Yeah. Did you ever visit any of these other communities like Benham and Lynch or Barberville or go down to Tazewell for anything? Did you?
I've been to Benham and Lynch. We have people live there.
Yeah.
And Tazewell. I used to live in Tazewell. Old Tazewell, not the new Tazewell, they call it. But it was all good, I guess.
Wallens Ridge Church. Have you ever been over there?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people had the flu back then.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's because it was so cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold where I lived. We had to put cardboard on the walls in our house, to keep the air out.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold.
Did you put newspaper on the walls too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put paste on the paper with pepper and flour.
Mm-hmm.
And the mice was eat it off. Them mice they died everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done all that. They run the mill, ground out cane for molasses. That's a lot of fun. I like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big trough. It had eight compartments. I think after you put the first juice in, the first one, it just keeps going down and down and down.
Different stages.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then we had our cans there to put them in when they got done. Put them in the hen house.
You put the cans in the hen house?
Yeah, the molasses to stay cold.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all have a spring?
Yeah, around from the house.
Uh-huh.
We kept our milk and our butter and something else in it. Every time it rains, we had to go get it because it'd be floating around by you. Yeah. Go get that stuff out of the water, they said. Okay. Around there we go.
Would you go to, where would y'all shop for stuff like that at? Butter and things like that?
They used to come over here, White's Furniture Company,
Uh-huh.
and shop there.
Oh, okay, so they
Yeah.
come to town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they did all their shopping for furniture and stuff. Of course, it's gone out of business now, didn't it? Mm-hmm.
Can you tell him at the point you were
Huh?
coming up as a teenager, whatever, when they had Fern Lake open to the black kids? You remember that?
The school?
Fern Lake.
Where all the black kids could go up there and swim.
Yeah. A lot of people would. Some man got drowned up there, and my dad was swimming that day,
I don't know if you ever heard that story.
and he swam over this man, didn't know he was anybody under him in the water.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm. So they went and drug the river, and they found that man. I don't know.
Mm. But that was a place black folks could go swimming, was in Fern Lake?
Well, yeah, they'd let you, but they'd have people to watch you, you know.
Yeah.
That's like our water source
Oh.
now.
Oh, okay. I'd seen in the school records, in the Lincoln school records, there was a lot of people that lived, their address said Fern Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so was there a lot of black folks that lived around Fern Lake, or was there a community called Fern Lake that was close to that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Mm.
It's like mostly white people now,
Yeah.
up that way.
Yeah.
But it used to be all black people
Around the lake.
when they were coming up.
Yeah.
Because I've heard these stories myself.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And they wasn't allowed, in the city pools and all that, so.
No. Well, they had a theater downtown called the Mandarin Theater, and then they had one called Browning's Theater. We had two,
Okay.
so I went to the Mandarin.
Go watch a movie.
Yep.
Cowboy movies and
Yeah, I like cowboy movies. Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and
all them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have an easy life coming up. I had to work and either babysit the rest of the kids while their parents worked. So that's what I did.
She raised a lot of kids here in Middlesboro, besides her own age.
Yeah.
Like the Stapletons, like Janie. She's Janie Berry now, Dr. Berry's wife.
Uh-huh.
She raised her. She raised her brother. She just raised a lot of white kids.
Mm-hmm. You took people in
No,
she
went to
would
the
go
house.
and work for them.
and raised their kids.
Raise their kids
Yeah.
like, over
okay.
the years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you've had a big influence on many, many people.
yeah,
A lot of the rich people.
A lot of rich people.
She raised them, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's hard work.
Yeah, it is. After that, I went to Campbell Soup. I worked there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I retired, ain't it, sir? From Campbell Soup, or
No, you retired from the nursing home
You work in a nursing home?
in Ohio.
Northcrest?
Oh, in Ohio.
Mhm.
But now you're retired.
Yeah.
She's a traveler now. She's been to Australia.
My son over in Australia sent me a ticket,
Uh-huh.
so I went.
What'd you think about it?
I liked it, except going over that water.
Uh-huh. For hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you look out, there was water around it.
Mhm.
Too much.
Mhm.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
They gave me a trip and I took it.
Is that what you hope to do now? Is just kind of travel and visit people and enjoy
Well,
yourself?
if I can, if I'm able.
Yeah.
Mhm. You never know what's going to happen, so you have to lean on your plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I used to quilt with my mom
Mm-hmm.
in the house, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, we just made them for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there wasn't anybody around.
No,
The rest of it, so
just me and her.
You and her. So y'all made a lot of quilts. Is
Yeah,
any of
we
those
ma-
Is any of those quilts still around?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made a lot for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you could sew different kind of designs in them, like, you know, put in them.
Mm-hmm.
And but she liked to doing that. I did too.
Mm-hmm.
Till we got a sewing machine, then I would piece the pieces together on the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I had to sew them by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had to cut them pieces out to fit in that place you had open, and then try to sew them in the quilt. We had the quilting frames we put up in the living room. You had to tack it in a frame and go around. Every time you get one finished, you have to roll it up and start another row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did that.
Would she make good money doing that, or some money doing that?
Well, some, but you know, back then people, once you give and don't pay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
But it was good. We liked quilting.
Mm.
A big old long needle. You had a thimble on your finger
Mm-hmm.
to push it through there. Of course, mine wouldn't fit a thimble, but my nails is long.
Mm.
But anyway, that's what we done.
Mm. Yeah, that's a lot.
We go over the mountain in Tennessee is where we went most time. Tazewell or New Tazewell, Old Tazewell, or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Mount Herman?
Mount Herman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mount Herman. I'm
Mm.
making those about that. I forgot about that one. Mount Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Sulphur Springs at all? Sulphur Spring? Sulphur Hollow. That's kind of near Hoop Creek. I think that's where them Parkies were at. We're at Sulphur Hollow.
Holler.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's where we had church at one Sunday.
yeah.
Suffolk Hollow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was the name of your school again that you said? You told me and I forgot what it was. Do y'all remember the church and school that you went to? Do you remember the name of it?
Towns Creek?
Towns Creek. Is that the name of where the school was at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me make a note about that. What's your relationship to her?
That's my mom.
That's your mom.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? What's your name?
Terry.
Terry.
Bits and pieces, like when she was growing up, like over in the country, when women would have babies, they would just give them away. Because at one point, she said they really didn't know how old they were. Because some of the women would just have babies and give them, just give them away.
Yeah.
So.
And so they wouldn't know their birth date, anything like that. Huh.
No, she just talks about the country all the time. But
Yeah, I guess if you couldn't feed them, then you'd have to give them away, wouldn't you? Is that why people would give their babies away, or because they couldn't feed them?
I guess they give them away because they didn't want them or something.
No, you said when y'all were growing up over in the country, how women used to have these kids and just give them to somebody else to raise.
But give them another family member.
Yeah.
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 There was one lady had 20-something kids.
Lord.
The Browns had that many, didn't they?
We're not going to talk about that.
Well, it was Jake Brown. Yeah.
She was a homecoming queen at Lincoln High School. You got a picture. Remember you had the dress on, the red lips.
I don't remember the red lips.
But you remember being homecoming queen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had to walk across the field with him. No, we didn't have a way of going nowhere.
Yeah.
Best the mule and the wagon.
And that's how your family had a mule and a wagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go to church or anywhere, pile them in there and we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's down in the valley.
In Powell Valley.
Powell Valley.
Yeah.
Arthur, Tennessee is where she was born.
It was hard back then. I was working days for people and getting a whole little money when I could, you know, to buy my tickets. And then somebody had the nerve to steal my book of tickets. Didn't do them no good, but
You wasn't fighting nobody, was you?
to get my tickets back, I would. I used to fight all the time going to school. You have to stand up for yourself and bullying people. You know, when you start a play, they start bullying you. So you just let them know who's who.